Hello everyone, welcome back to 3 News Now. It's Thursday, August 6th, and we start off with breaking news for you out of the state of New York that will certainly have an impact here in Ohio. New York's Attorney General has sued to dissolve the National Rifle Association. New York's Attorney General filed a lawsuit in Manhattan today. These are allegations over high-ranking executives diverting millions of dollars for things including lavish personal trips, contracts for associates, and other questionable expenses. Attorney General Letitia James filed this lawsuit after an 18-month investigation into the NRA, which is highlighting alleged misspending and self-dealing, which is tied to longtime leader of the NRA, Wayne LaPierre. Some of those things include allegations of paying for the hair and makeup of his wife, up to a $17 million post-employment contract for himself. New York's Attorney General said that these claims came to be highlighted by the deficit that the NRA has experienced, but for a long time they were hidden by loyal lieutenants and a pass-through payment arrangement with a vendor. Now remember, the NRA is a 501c4 organization that is commonly referred to as a dark money organization. They don't have to reveal their donors, but that doesn't mean they have free license to do whatever they want. The organization went from a nearly $28 million surplus in 2015 to a $36 million deficit in 2018, and it was this deficit piling up that led to the investigation that led to the unveiling of these alleged misspenditures within the NRA. So the violations that are alleged in this lawsuit that's seeking for the NRA to be dissolved include violations of state and federal laws, the NRA's own bylaws, and employee handbook. A message was left with the NRA seeking comment, and that has not yet been returned. We will, of course, update this as soon as we get that comment on WKYC.com and our WKYC app. Definitely big news today that the New York Attorney General is suing to dissolve the NRA. Back to the things that we're going to cover here in Northeast Ohio specifically today. President Donald Trump will be in Ohio. We will tell you where and when that will be. Also, what former Vice President Joe Biden is doing that has to deal with Ohio this week. There is an update on Governor Mike DeWine's order issuing last call at 10 p.m. in the state of Ohio. It will remain in effect. We'll tell you what has happened there. Also let you know that at least 50 bars and restaurants in Ohio have had COVID-19 outbreaks since July. We'll let you know a little bit more about that. And here's something very helpful. We'll tell you how to make your own disinfectant wipes, because if you're like me, you have not been able to get them at the store, and that's going to be the case for a long time. Plus, we'll let you know about a new Cleveland Clinic study that's studying the possibility of detecting multiple cancers with a single test, which is something that has never been done before. And everything you need to know about Ohio's sales tax holiday, which starts tonight at midnight. First up, let's talk about President Donald Trump coming to Ohio today. First, he'll be in Clyde, Ohio. That will be at the Whirlpool facility. White House officials say that he is trying to demonstrate how he continues to put American jobs first. So he'll be making comments there at about 3:15 p.m. And then from there, he'll head to Bracknell at the Shoreby Club, which is where he'll be holding a re-election fundraiser. And that will also be with the Republican National Committee, a fundraiser for that organization as well. He's expected to kick that off at 6 p.m. tonight. And everyone who will be there will have to get a rapid COVID-19 test. We learned that from our 3 News investigator, Mark Namick, who had that first here on 3. Now, to get into that fundraiser at Bracknell tonight, the tickets were $5,600 at a minimum. If people paid $100,000 or more, they're expected to get increased access to both the president and high-level officials. Meanwhile, here in Ohio, there is a new poll out that shows that presumptive Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden is leading Trump in Ohio by 4 points, by 46 to 42% in that poll. We have the details and all of the methodology behind that poll up on WKYC.com. Biden also has an Ohio-focused event this week. At 10 a.m. tomorrow, he'll be participating in a virtual event hosted by Senator Sherrod Brown, and they'll be talking about jobs in manufacturing and innovation. We do also have the details for that on WKYC.com. Now, about that 10 p.m. last call order here in the state of Ohio that Governor Mike DeWine put into effect last week, a judge has allowed it to continue while a lawsuit proceeds against it in Franklin County. The order went into effect last week saying last call would be at 10 p.m. and you had until 11 p.m. to finish your drinks. Well, in Columbus, a group of restaurants got together and they sued, trying to stop the order from going into effect. This is similar to what happened in the city of Columbus a couple weeks ago, when the city of Columbus passed its own ordinance that would have shut bars down at 10 o'clock. They successfully stopped that from going into effect, but this time the judge said that no, there would not be a temporary restraining order issued. The order does continue to remain in effect. The restaurants argued, the defense for the restaurants argued, Ed Hasty, the attorney representing those restaurants, said that they didn't believe there was any science that showed that COVID-19 spreads more after a certain period of time. However, the state came back and argued that the restaurants didn't challenge the order when bars and restaurants were completely shut down earlier this year, so why are they challenging this now? And they also made the argument that the state would prefer to completely shut down bars and restaurants, but they know how devastating that would be, and so that order will remain in effect while this lawsuit proceeds. Now, the lawsuit is still proceeding, but they just didn't get the result they wanted right now of stopping it from going into effect in the meantime. Now, what we have learned since July 1st is that at least 50 Ohio bars and restaurants have had outbreaks of COVID-19. This is according to anecdotal contact tracing information given to the Ohio Department of Health. Plus, 8 churches, 11 daycare facilities, and 4 schools and universities have also had outbreaks. Now, Ohio Department of Health spokesperson Melanie Amato says that more detailed information about outbreaks is simply not available from the Ohio Disease Reporting System. Again, this is anecdotal information coming from people who are doing contact tracing, who have delivered that information to the Ohio Department of Health, because Melanie Amato says it's impossible to capture the total number of outbreaks the state has without reviewing every single case of COVID-19. So that's the information that we do have: at least 50 outbreaks in bars and restaurants since July 1st. Here is some good news for you if you've had a tough time getting disinfectant wipes. Clorox, which is the world's biggest maker of disinfectant cleaning supplies, announced that the shortage of its supplies will probably last until 2021. So that's a long time to go without those disinfectant wipes if that's something that you've been used to doing, if that's something you like to use in your house. But the good news is it's very easy to make your own. We found a video from a YouTube creator, and the page is called Do It on a Dime, which we went with this one because they follow the CDC guidelines, and it's super simple. Here's what you need. You need a strong, sturdy roll of paper towels. Now, these paper towels are what will become your wipes. So yes, you do want to invest in the ones that are maybe a bigger ply, definitely stronger, so they don't fall apart when they get wet, because you're going to be getting them wet as part of making them. You need bleach. You need at least a cup of water, a tablespoon, a large knife that's sharp enough to cut through the paper towels, a cutting board, and an airtight container. Now, if you had some of those cleaning wipes, this might be a good time to reuse that airtight container, because that's what you're going to need in order to store this in. So all you have to do is take that roll of paper towels, cut it in half, and then put it in that airtight container. Now, you mix a half a tablespoon of bleach with a cup of water. You might want to do this twice. You might want to double this up, so a full tablespoon of bleach with 2 cups of water, and you're going to pour that in over the paper towels. Make sure you get everything nice and saturated, just depending on how wet you like your disinfectant wipes to be, and then put it all over those paper towels. Then you're going to remove that cardboard roll from the center of the paper towels. Just pull that out, because you're going to want to pull your wipes from the center of the roll. You could also pull them from the outside of the roll, but these instructions say remove that cardboard roll from the center, and then you're done. That's it. You have made your own disinfectant wipes. How simple is that? Now, if that was a little difficult to follow, we do have that up on WKYC.com and our WKYC app. Here's some good health news that has nothing to do with COVID-19. Cleveland Clinic is studying a blood test that detects more than 50 cancers at an early stage. It's called the Pathfinder Study, and they want to enroll about 6,200 participants, including people from the Cleveland area. We do have links with information if you're interested in enrolling in the study on WKYC.com. The goal here is to detect cancers in early stages that you otherwise might not be able to detect until symptoms appear. And when symptoms appear, that's when the chances of survival start to get lower. Now, Eric Klein, who is a doctor at the Cleveland Clinic, he is chairman of the clinic's Glickman Urological and Kidney Institute. He's also the principal investigator of the Cleveland Clinic's portion of the Pathfinder study. He says that we have never had a multi-cancer detection test like this. So this is very groundbreaking. He says even if this test only detects a fraction of people who have early stage cancer, it's the first time that we'll be able to detect many cancers that are currently lethal when we would have a chance at being able to cure them. So before those symptoms start to develop, before those chances of survival go down. So this is pretty incredible. So far, by the way, the test has shown the ability to detect cancer with a 0.7% false positive rating. That's a lot of sciencey words. What that means is that less than 1% of the people who show up as having cancer based on this test are wrongly identified as having cancer. So less than 1% of people are getting false positives with this test. And of course, something that everybody needs to know about here. Now, this is targeted at school supplies, but really this applies to everyone. Ohio's sales tax holiday starts tonight at midnight. The Ohio Department of Taxation does this every year. They made it permanent last year, so it starts tonight at midnight and extends through Sunday at 11:59 p.m. and you have no taxes to pay on several things. So if you're going to buy a piece of clothing that's $75 or less, you don't have to pay tax on that this weekend. If you're going to buy school supplies that are $20 or less, you don't have to pay tax on that this weekend. Also, school instructional materials that are $20 or less. No tax on that this weekend, and there's no limit to the number of items you buy. So if you want to buy 10 shirts that are $74, you won't have to pay tax on any of those. Here's the thing though, if you buy one shirt that's $80, you have to pay all the tax on that because it only applies to shirts that are $75 and below. It applies to clothing that's $75 and below. No limits on it, and this is an Ohio law, by the way, so stores do have to comply with the no sales tax all weekend long. You can buy things in person, over the phone, or online, and that all qualifies. And we have all of those details as well on WKYC.com and our WKYC app. That's it for your 3 News Now early update for Thursday, August 6th. I'll be back here right after 3 p.m. when we get those new numbers in from the Ohio Department of Health. And here's a reminder, there is no press conference from Governor Mike DeWIne today because Trump will be in Ohio. So President Donald Trump will be here, so Governor Mike DeWIne will be postponing his typical Thursday press conference. All right, I'll see you back here in a little bit. I'm Stephanie Haney.